What's good, y'all? It is Will here, and today I wanted to talk about pressure, a feeling that we all encounter quite often in our lives. And, there can be a lot of things that can correlate, aspects of life that can correlate with pressure. It can be, finding a new job, it can be trying to keep up with school or finding a relationship. It's like in a life sense. It can also be from an existential perspective of questioning why you're here, where you're going, like what happens after death and things of that nature. And there's so many ways you can look at that, but I kind of view pressure as the burden of growth. And what I mean by that is pressure is earned. It's one of those things that we view happiness as something that can be eternal. Like, oh, I achieve this goal, I meet the partner of my dreams and fall in love, and I'm just eternally happy forever. But it doesn't work like that. Happiness is such a flowy sort of feeling that goes so up and down and is so temporary. It's the same thing with sadness, fear, anger. These feelings that sometimes they may last longer than others, but they're always temporary. And what it really comes down to is finding your peace, finding your own peace with those feelings. Like being okay with feeling sad, being okay with feeling angry, being okay with feeling happy, of course, as well. And accepting that every feeling is temporary. That's what how at least I see it. But when you get to a certain point of life, you're not going to just feel as if everything has been achieved and you're forever just complete and happy. It's just, that's not how our minds work. We're stubborn as human beings. But, for example, let's say you do meet the partner of your dreams. You fall in love, and that's an incredible feeling, obviously. I mean, I've never been in that position, but I would imagine it's incredible, it's eye-opening. But with that comes the question of, well, can I keep this commitment? Can I sustain this commitment with this person? Will we be able to last through the downs the same way we're going to be able to last through the ups? And if you find that perfect job, obviously I don't think there is necessarily a perfect job, but if you find the job that you've been, like striving for, you achieve your dreams, your dream job, your dream scenario, whatever it may be, there comes the question of, okay, well, how will you handle that? Now the pressure's on of, can you keep it up? Can you keep it up? It's the same thing if you achieve your dream body. Well, you got to stay consistent. You got to keep it up. You got to keep it intact, because if you slack off for a few weeks, it may not be the same. So with every mountain that we summit, there are questions, there are added layers that are thrown on to that. It's like when you grow from a child to an adolescent to an adult, there's all these mountains we climb. What I went through when I was 15 and 16, early in high school, one of the harder times in my life when I was dealing with my dad, who had cancer at the time. Although it was in the early stages, it was still very stressful seeing him go through chemotherapy and always being, in the bed and just kind of sick. I had this crush on a girl at the time, and I was struggling in school. And, it's not to say that like the crush on the girl was a bad thing, but at the same time, I was almost paying so much attention to that because at the time, right, I was like 15, 16. So I was really attentive to her. I was like overly attentive at times. And that is what caused me to drop my grades to drop in school. And at the same time, I was kind of feeling feelings that I had never really felt before, feelings of depression, anxiety, and stress. And the only thing that really kept me going throughout that time was baseball. That was my greatest passion in high school, during my early teenage years, I would say. And because my grades were so low, I dropped to like a 1.6 GPA. I ended up getting cut from the baseball team. And at that point, I was just kind of like, oh, I really don't have anywhere to go. I just kind of lost hope. And at this point, if I were to deal with something like that, I think I would handle it a lot better. It wouldn't be as challenging for me. At the time, I didn't know what to do, so I can't lie. I did, cut myself sometimes and not treat myself with the most self-love and care. I didn't really explain my problems and emotions to anybody until it had been a few years. And like I said, now I would be able to handle that situation much better. It would still be stressful, but I think I would not be under the same state of mind as I was back then. But the thing was, at that time, I had to go through that. I had to experience that level of pain, that level of anxiety and fear. And I'm not saying people don't go through far worse, but this is my experience. And as I've gotten older, as time has passed, I've dealt with things that are, I would say, probably more challenging objectively, but with the level of maturity and growth that happens in one's life, you're able to see it in a much clearer view. And now I think I've had problems with sex life, sexuality at times, porn addiction, being a loner because I never want to be that guy, like, no one understands me. But I have been through experiences through psychedelics and in life as well, through my own mind, through my own psyche, that aren't always the easiest to just explain to people. And like I said, that existential dread sometimes that I feel of just not knowing why we're here. But in a way, that's kind of what I've come to accept this year. It's been a stressful year trying to find a job, just finishing school. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. I just graduated college, but now it's like, can I find a job? What job is it going to be? What's next? I got to decide my career. I got to figure all these things out. I'm growing up. I have jury duty coming up in a month for the first time. All these things are piling up. And that's the pressure, but it's earned, and I'm respecting that. I'm accepting that like everything that I am experiencing, every layer of darkness that I am confronting, it's just a deeper layer. But it's earned. It's all earned, and that's why I'm proud of it as I continue to grow. And life is not supposed to be all about just pure bliss and happiness. There's beauty in the suffering as well, in the chaos, in the struggle. Because that's what makes those good times so damn great, And that's why I think this year I've just learned to be more at peace than anything, than in control, especially because sometimes we try to control our reality. We try to control everything. We wish to have that level of control, but we realize that we just can't. There's only so much that is in our ability to alter, to have an impact on. That's why I think it's just important to really be centered on, the basic facets of life: your family, your friends, your hobbies, your routines, and just life itself. And appreciating the fact that this is an experience. This is a conscious, for all we know of, like, time, a phase, whatever you want to call it. We're living as human beings. Spirits having a human experience. It's fascinating, but with it comes consequences, comes pressure, comes challenges. But I feel like every challenge we're faced with is something that we're able to overcome, at least in terms of like mental blockages, in terms of what's going on in our lives. Obviously, there's some things that we can't overcome, like some physical health problems and things of that nature, but I think that the human spirit is definitely powerful, and we should invite pressure. That's how I look at it. We should invite that feeling of pressure and come to accept it. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about pressure. If you made it to this point, I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments about anything you've gone through in your life. Like, I'm here to really try and be myself and tell my experience in as authentic as a manner as possible. That's my whole goal with this channel. And I'm opening anyone up to doing the same thing as well. Like, I'm here to hear anything you have to say, because anything you've gone through in your mind, in your life that may seem taboo, you're a human being, and that's what the world needs you to be. It needs you to be human, not perfect. See, I'm stumbling right there with my words, but I'm gonna keep that in the video. But if you made it this far, thank you guys for watching. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and Will here, signing out.